What you're about to watch isn't a gaffe. It isn't a meme. It's a governing philosophy exposed in real time. A member of Congress asks a basic question any taxpayer would ask. How much did you spend? And instead of clear answers, you get evasions, rebranding, and moral language meant to replace math. Because when leaders stop counting, it's rarely because the cost is small. It's because the cost is politically lethal. Listen closely. Watch who can give a number. Watch who can't. And pay attention to what that reveals, because the next 5 minutes are a masterclass in how accountability gets dodged.
And there were these buses that were coming to the detention facility, and they were picking up 30 kids, 50 kids at random, walking out of the facility. And when I went over to question the bus driver that was transporting these kids, border agents told me, as a member of Congress, that you're not allowed to question the bus driver. And of course, people knowing me, I didn't take no for an answer, and I repeated the question. And I was told that this bus of children was leaving El Paso and going to San Diego. And so what was occurring under the Biden administration is that they were busing unaccompanied minors all across the United States for one reason and one reason only. And that was because they did not want the press to see the pictures of kids in cages. They did not want to see our borders being overrun. They wanted to disperse that problem all through the United States. That is the reckless history of illegal immigration under Joe Biden and the Democrat Party. Mayor Johnston of Denver, yes, you lamented earlier that there were 10 to 11 buses coming per day to your city. Did you ever talk to Joe Biden about why this was happening to your community?
Thank you, Congressman. I both reached out to Governor Abbott from Texas. He didn't respond, and I did.
Why would you reach out to Governor Abbott of Texas when it is Joe Biden, the former commander-in-chief, that opened up our borders? Why didn't you talk to him?
Well, our buses directly were being sent from Governor Abbott in Texas, so that was why we reached out to say we're happy to collaborate on a coordinated entry system. We understand no one state or no one city should bear the entire brunt of this, but let's collaborate. But I did.
So I'm glad you said that, because that brings me to my next point. Governor Abbott and Governor DeSantis, when they started moving illegal aliens out of their states who were bearing the brunt of what Joe Biden and Kamala Harris were doing, and they've sent them to Denver, they sent them to Chicago, they sent them to New York, they sent them to Martha's Vineyard. The reason why they did that is because you four could hide behind the realities of illegal immigration on border towns all through our country and on cities and states who did not want to see illegal immigration, but did not have the political representation to go to the White House. And only when it showed up on your doorstep did you get upset. Mayor Johnston, coming back to you, how much did your city spend on illegal immigration? Do you have a round number?
Over the last couple of years on all newcomers, whatever their status was, it's around $79 million since 2022.
$79 million. Mayor Johnson, Chicago. How much has the city of Chicago spent on illegal immigration?
If you're referring to the 2022 up to 2024 of the buses coming from Texas, roughly the same percentage of the state of Texas, about 1% of our overall budget.
What is that? Because I don't have the city's budget in front of me. Numbers.
It's 1%, and if you want the actual calculation, we can make sure someone.
You're the mayor. You don't have the math in front of you.
It's 1% of the overall budget over the last 4 years.
That's why you're a failing
which
mayor.
is
Mayor
the same
Adams,
number that was sent from us.
How much did the city of New York actually spend on
Texas.
illegal immigration? Mayor Johnson, I already asked you. You don't have a hard number, and if you don't have a hard number, you're not running your city well. Mayor Adams, how much did the city of New York actually spend on illegal immigration?
$6.9 billion of taxpayers.
$6.9 billion of taxpayer money on a problem that was fostered on the American people. Mayor Wu, in the city of Boston, how much did you spend?
We don't ask about immigration status and delivering city
You don't
services,
ask
so
about
we
how
don't
much
have
money
that
the city
number.
of Boston has spent on illegal immigration?
We
Are
don't
you out of your
distinguish
mind?
between immigration status.
Do you
as
manage
part
your
of our
budget
city
or not,
policies.
Mayor Wu?
That is how we keep
Mayor
our city
Wu,
safe.
do you manage your budget or
We have the
not?
numbers to prove it. I manage my budget. I have a AAA bond rating dating back 10 years.
So to the city of Boston,
budget.
just understand that your mayor does not care how much of your resources she has spent on people who are not citizens
The city of Boston is sick of having
I'm reclaiming
people
my
outside
time.
Boston
Mr.
telling
Bear,
us what
Mr.
we
Bear, I have
need.
a question for you, because I understand Cato's perspective when it comes to illegal immigration. I understand that the Cato Institute for a long time has had a standard of actually having open immigration into the United States. Generally speaking, I don't want to get into specifics.
We support legal immigration. We want immigration to be legal.
So let me ask you this question, because one of the great libertarians of the modern era, Milton Friedman famously said, you can either have open borders or a welfare state, but you have to choose. Mr. Beer, what do you choose?
Milton Friedman said he wanted to allow illegal immigration to continue. I disagree with Milton Friedman's position on that. We should have legal immigration and build a wall around the welfare state, not around the country. That's in the best interest of taxpayers.
And I would argue that under the current system where you have sanctuary cities popping up, it is not possible to build that wall. So America has to choose, Mr. Beer, you're done. America has to choose between securing our nation or protecting the taxpayer. I choose secure the nation. I yield back.
Here's what matters about that exchange. It wasn't really an argument about compassion. It was an argument about consent. Start with the border story. Whether you agree with every detail or not, the structure is clear. When the federal government loses control, it manages optics before it manages outcomes. Problems get moved around the map, out of sight, out of frame, out of accountability, and that sets the stage for everything that follows. Then the mayors respond like administrators. The buses came from Texas? True, Abbott sent buses, but the deeper question is why those buses became the tool in the first place. Because for years, border communities absorbed the pressure while big city politicians preached virtue from a safe distance. The burden was somebody else's problem until it wasn't. Now watch the pivot to money. This is where the mask slips. Denver gives a figure, $79 million, but it's immediately softened. Newcomers, whatever their status. That phrasing isn't neutral. It's protective. If you blur categories, you blur responsibility. And if you blur responsibility, you never have to admit which policies made the situation worse. Chicago goes even further. No number, just 1%. But taxpayers don't live in percentages. They live in dollars. They live in the apartment they can't afford, the ER wait time that doubles, the school that can't hire aides, the shelter system that hits capacity, the police overtime that never ends. A percentage is political fog. A number is accountability. New York drops the headline, $6.9 billion. And suddenly the debate isn't academic. Billions means trade-offs. Billions means priorities. Billions means local citizens paying for a federal failure, while Washington lectures them about empathy. And then Boston delivers the most revealing line of the clip. We don't ask, but let's confront the reality head-on. Refusing to measure the cost isn't compassion. It's insulation. Insulation from scrutiny, insulation from voters, insulation from limits. If you don't track it, you can't audit it. If you can't audit it, you can't prove it's working. And if you can't prove it's working, you're not governing. You're improvising with other people's money. And here's the moral inversion. The people who follow the rules are asked to accept less space, less safety, less service, while officials refuse to even tell them what it costs. That breeds resentment, and it poisons the very thing America has always done well. Legal immigration with clear standards. When government treats standards as mean, it doesn't create harmony, it creates backlash. And that backlash is entirely avoidable if leaders choose honesty over optics. Notice what's not said. Nobody says we will fully cooperate with enforcement. Nobody says we'll end incentives that pull more people in. Nobody says the border must be secured now. The strategy is to normalize the chaos, then demand the public fund it indefinitely. This isn't just immigration, it's sovereignty. It's the basic right of a nation to set rules, enforce them, and keep promises to its own citizens. A border isn't a suggestion. A budget isn't a feelings journal. And leadership isn't moral when it hides the bill. If you want more breakdowns that cut through the spin, subscribe. Share this with someone who's been told nothing's happening. And in the comments, should every city that adopts sanctuary policies be required to publish an auditable public total cost? Yes or no?